Solomon Demeter served as a captain of the Emperor's Children during the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy. As commander of the Emperor's Children's Second Company, Demeter's reckless nature and exacting standards stood out even within such a perfectionist creed. A noble example for all his men to follow, Solomon's dedication and loyalty to the Emperor would prove to be his downfall. An expert swordsman and brilliant tactician, Demeter waded into battle, often eschewing the use of his helmet to better feel the sensations of combat. Treating his weapons and armor with a master artificer's care bordering on the obsessive, Demeter adjusted his armaments to improve their reliability and rate of fire. Present during the Emperor's Children's 28th Expeditionary Fleet's persecution of the Laren Xenos, Demeter led his men during the battle on Atoll 19. Accepting that sufficient military prowess was always superior to unattainable perfection, his methods used successfully in persecuting the Leia, though derided by his peers, were crucial in achieving victory. His men's skill exceeding the pedigree of all comparable legions during the campaign, Solomon's forces earned the praise of his Primarch as they pacified the underwater cities of the Xenos. The Phoenician entered the epicenter of their enemy's strength, the Temple of the Leia, and claimed the strange demon blade enshrined within. Spared the influence of the Taint of Chaos by virtue of his absence from entering the temple, following their successful campaign, Demeter witnessed the decline of his legion's sanity. Aiding the Iron Hand's 52nd Expeditionary Fleet during their conflict against the Diasporix alliance of humans and Xenos, Solomon witnessed the lapse of judgment of his Primarch, which required the Gorgon's intervention. The 3rd Legion's Voidcraft, Firebird, had incurred damage from the Diasporix, requiring intervention of the 10th Legion's flagship, Fist of Iron, to prevent further catastrophe. His pride wounded, Fulgrim led a shipboarding action against their enemy's own flagship, while Solomon's own men lay siege to the Xenos' command center. Capturing the flagship's bridge, Demeter's successful actions further antagonized his Primarch by robbing him of his vengeance. Fighting by the side of Fulgrim upon the maiden world of Tarsus, Demeter witnessed the outrage of his Primarch during his meeting with the Eldar Farseer, Eldrad Ulfran. Slaying the Wraithlord, Kiraean Goldhelm, and an avatar of Cain, the Emperor's Children forced the Xenos to flee, knowing that their attempt to prevent their corruption from chaos had been made too late. Ordering his fleet to virus bomb several maiden worlds as reprisal, Fulgrim's actions further estranged him from the honorable Captain Demeter. Commanding his legion to cleanse the Kalanides system of the Orc Xenos, the men of the Second Company received no aid from their Primarch, nor the 1st or 3rd Companies during their campaign. Saved from total annihilation by the actions of the 10th and 13th Companies, led by Captains Sol Tarvitz and Lucius, such a callous deployment stirred the Lord Commander Vespasian to confront their Primarch. Murdered by the Phoenician, Vespasian would be the first of the loyal Astartes of the Legion to fall, yet the Great Purge of the Third was close to fruition. Upon Istvan free, the loyalists of the Emperor's Children were deployed, for this would be the last battle the Second Company would fight under the leadership of their stalwart commander. Warned of the impending orbital bombardment by Sol Tarvitz, the loyalist Astartes of the 3rd, 12th, 14th and 16th Legions sought shelter. Surviving the virus bombing of the planet, Demeter regardless did not evade the subsequent firebombing of its surface and incurred a grievous wound requiring treatment by Apothecary Vodun. Fighting alongside Tarvitz, the captain of the 10th promised vengeance against their duplicitous brethren, and so it was that the remaining heroic paragons of their legion took to the field side by side. Alike to a phoenix, Solomon refused to perish and renewed of purpose displayed the courage and martial skill to which he was revered, refusing to take command of the loyalist survivors and entrusting Tarvitz with their leadership. Fighting until the bitter end, Demeter's life would be ended by the treachery of Captain Lucius, his actions causing Solomon to kill loyalist Astartes unknowingly. Dying by Lucius's hand, Solomon Demeter's last moments were those of bleak contemplation as he surmised the conclusion of the Great Civil War, the light of his eyes fading in the shadow of the Precentor's palace.